Hey, have you ever felt that pull of inertia? That comfortable gravity that keeps you right where you are, maybe stopping you from taking that next big risk? Well, if that sounds familiar, think of this as a kind of intellectual salvage mission. It's a parable, really, a guide for breaking free from that polished, safe floor of a life lived on autopilot. Our whole story kicks off with this really strange, ancient plea from the streets of Naples, Italy, Faccia gialla fa il miracolo. It means yellowface, perform the miracle. Now, it's a cry that's been echoing for centuries, but as we're about to see, it's also a whisper that many of us hear inside our own heads, asking to be saved from the effort of our own lives. Right. So what is this miracle that the people of Naples are praying for? And, more importantly, what does this desperate cry for some kind of divine intervention really tell us about our own very human desire for an easier path? So on the surface, it's this really beautiful tradition. Faccia Giallia, or the yellow face, that's the nickname for the golden bust of St. Januarius. And the faithful, they gather around and they pray for this vial of his dried blood to miraculously turn back into liquid. If it does, hey, the city is safe. It's a community's deep, desperate hope for protection, a sign that everything is going to be okay. But if you dig just a little deeper, you find this whole other philosophy hiding underneath, the worldview of what the source material calls the last man. And this is a mindset that just wants to be saved from effort. It's a desire for a life that is totally level and safe. You can think of it like staying in a comfortable but kind of dead-end job because you're afraid of the storm and the difficult sun that comes with chasing a real passion. It's using any belief system, really, as a shield against the necessary pain of actually growing. And this quote it nails the core illusion here. The argument is that this kind of theatrical sacrifice is just a pathetic economy of virtue. It's like you're trading your one real life for a promissory note on some future that never actually arrives. It's framed as the ultimate act of cowardice, just refusing to engage with the beautiful, terrible, and totally necessary chaos of being alive. So you might be wondering, how is this illusion maintained? Well, it's not by some big external force. It's actually a super powerful, really seductive figure who lives inside all of us. See, this internal architect offers you this new trinity, a set of promises designed to keep you perfectly still. And the first one, the most powerful one, is the promise of absolute safety. A world with zero risk where you can never, ever fall. The second promise that follows is total comfort, a frictionless life. No struggle, no hard climbs, no difficult sun to burn you. Just ease. And the final gift, the grand prize you get for accepting the first two, is stagnation. It's this beautiful gilded cage where nothing ever changes, nothing ever grows, and really, nothing is ever truly alive. We can actually give this figure a name. Salvio Pulido, the Pale Redeemer, the High Priest of the Polished Floor. He's that quiet voice of inertia inside your head, that internal architect who whispers that your big ambitions are just too expensive, that taking a risk is foolish. He's the guardian of the loophole, the master of the excuse, that little part of you that insists you should always, always play it safe. And this right here, this slide just lays out the choice he presents perfectly, the polished floor versus the tightrope. See, Salvio has lowered the wire all the way to the ground, trying to convince you that the abyss of risk, it doesn't even exist. He offers a world with no aspirations. But the seeker, and that's you, knows the truth. The abyss is exactly where creation happens. Real balance isn't found on solid ground. It's found in the middle of the wind, up on the wire during that difficult climb toward the jagged peaks of your own potential. And here's the ultimate consequence of listening to him. A life lived just for the sake of preservation, well, it has nothing of substance. The source puts it so starkly. Salvio Pulido's soul gets rejected by the Council of Inferno because it is literally too small to burn. It just reeks of preservation, not passion. It's a chilling warning against living a life so carefully that it stops being a life at all. Okay, but look, this isn't a story about despair. Not at all. There is another way forward. We're here to talk about a completely new kind of miracle, one that you can actually perform for yourself. All right, so before we can build the new thing, we've got to tear down the old model. We have to reject what's called the vile economy. This is that martyr's bargain we talked about, trading a real, messy, vibrant life for the promise of some future reward.
It's using sacrifice not for a noble cause, but as a shield, a way to hide from the agony and the ecstasy of actually creating something that matters.
And this is the new miracle, the liquefaction of the soul. This isn't about some external force swooping in to save you. No, this is an internal act. It's the thawing of a heart that's been frozen by fear and resentment. It's a painful, noble process of saying a joyous yes, not to safety, but to the suffering of self-creation, out in the open, untamed sea of becoming. So once you understand this, it brings you to this critical, unavoidable decision. A choice, a fork in the road between two fundamentally different ways of being. So picture this. Salvio Pallado holds up his uncanny mirror. He wants you to look into it. But here's the trick. It doesn't reflect your potential or the vast sky of possibilities. No, it only reflects a stagnant ceiling, trapping your soul in this tiny loop, showing you only what's familiar, polished, and safe. And so, we arrive at the ultimate question this whole parable is asking you. Salvio Pallado, he's lowered the tightrope to the floor. He's made it safe. He has eliminated all the risk, just to prove that the abyss is a myth. So, will you walk on his grounded wire, or will you find the courage to raise it back up? So if you want to choose the true path, that high wire over the void, it's going to take more than just courage. It requires a whole new mindset, a completely new blueprint for the soul. Okay, let's get practical. Let's break down the blueprint for walking the wire. First, laugh at the martyr. Reject the whole idea that performative sacrifice or even quiet quitting is noble. Second, drive nails into your desire for comfort. I mean, actively choose the hard project, the difficult conversation, the path that forces you to grow. Third, say a joyous yes to suffering, not because you want pain, but because you recognize it as the unavoidable birth pang of creating something new and powerful. And fourth, and this is the big one, love your fate. Fiercely, triumphantly accept your life, all of it, in all its brutal, beautiful necessity. Now, it is so important to get this. This blueprint isn't a checklist you just tick off and you're done. No way. It's about embodying the spirit of becoming. It's a relentless daily affirmation of life. It's a constant call to take risks, to create, to become your own internal architect, always building new paths inside yourself, instead of just walking on the polished floors that other people built. But, I have to be honest here. This path, it's not for everyone. It can be a pretty lonely road. It requires you to consciously leave the warmth and safety of the crowd down in the valley of the last man. It means choosing to climb toward the jagged peaks, often by yourself, in search of what you are capable of becoming. And that brings us to our final thought. This choice isn't some one-time event. It's not a single decision you make and then you're set for life. The wire is always there. It remains waiting. Every single day, it is a constant, quiet invitation, ready for anyone brave enough to say yes to that sea of becoming. The choice, as always, is yours.